Well, I have a confession to make. I originally thought I'm going to make a video every single day. And I'm going to make this channel lifestyle channel, not just about MS and doom and gloom and disease and all. There's plenty of stuff to say. There's a lot of people already saying that stuff. And, you can also Google that information. So how is that helpful? And I would rather be helpful. So my idea was to make a video every day, put it on my channel, increase the amount of content, increase the amount of things that would help and appeal to people, and things like I said before, like things I wish I'd known. Because there's so much, you look back and you're like, wow, if only I'd done this, or if only I'd had this attitude, how much different things might have been. But, it is what it is and you can't go back. But you can go forward, and you can help other people who might be in that spot if they're inclined to listen. So anyway, I was going to do a video every day. And then as the day wore on, I started coming up with reasons why I shouldn't make a video today. I'm so tired today. It's just been such a long day. I got up at 5:30 in the morning, and I'm not the expert at iMovie that I thought it was going to be in one day to produce a video with montages and different, music. And I thought I was going to accomplish that in one day along with everything else I had to do today. Shockingly, that didn't happen. And I thought, well, if I can't do it the way I want to do it, I'm just not going to do it at all. That's not a good attitude to have. And that's exactly what I made this channel for, was to say we can keep going, and doing your best is good enough. It has to be good enough, and you have to be good with that. That's partly what keeps you sane. Takes more than that for me personally, but got a lot of videos to get into that stuff. No worries. It's really all about living above your circumstances. And I can't take credit for that phrase at all, because the smartest man I know taught it to me when we very first met. That was his first impression of me when he asked me why I was walking with a cane, and I thought that was quite forward. But I'm forward, so it's not, that's the word I want to use. It wasn't shocking to me or, insulting to me for him to ask. And I just came straight out. I said, MS. And I said, but don't worry, I'm beating it. Because I always say that because I'm ready for the pity face. That pity face that you say, I have MS, and people are like, oh. And they're thinking, oh God, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. They don't know what to say, and they feel bad, and it's awkward. So I usually try to help the awkwardness by being like, it's okay. It's okay. I'm beating it. I'm doing all these things. It doesn't rule me, And that's I did the same spiel with him. And he kind of got real thoughtful, which is his way. He got real thoughtful, and he said, yeah, you got to live above your circumstances. I was like, that's the most brilliant thing I've ever heard. And it occurred to me that that's kind of been my approach. Live above your circumstances. When you live above your circumstances, you don't let those circumstances dictate to you what you can and can't do. I'm fully aware that there are restrictions. I can't run. I haven't been able to run in 17 years. So clearly that's a circumstance that I can't control. But it doesn't mean that I can't do anything. So it's sort of like making this video. I wasn't the iMovie expert to bring to you the Steven Spielberg version on day 2. So I thought, I'll just scrap it. That's not what this is supposed to be about. And half the time I'm saying this stuff, it's a reminder for me. But yeah, living above your circumstances, because we're all going to face hardship and suffering in life. That's just the nature of it. Whether it's a broken relationship, the loss of a loved one because they passed away, someone moves away, someone gets sick, you lose your job. I mean, there's a billion reasons. Life is really hard, and life, as most of us know, is not fair. And if you don't know that yet, you will find out. It's not fair. And it's never going to be fair. So it's more about, well, what do we do with that? What do we do with that? And one of my answers is you find joy. That sounds so cliche, I almost want to like stick my finger down my own throat for saying it. But I will follow with saying you have to hunt down the joy. Like, it's not just, I'm going to find joy and I'm going to go in a field of sunflowers and, it's all just going to fall upon me. And no, when you're really going through it, it takes more than that. It takes more than that. And it takes usually more than one thing. It takes a tremendous amount of energy to find that joy, to help you get above those circumstances. And so today I got up at 5:30 because I wanted to get to PT early so I could get my workout done and then get back for this vocal workshop I've been doing because I'm trying to learn to be a better singer. It's one of my goals in life, and it's something that brings me joy. And my PT workout lasted so long that I missed half of it, so I ended up needing to do the rewatch later, which is not as good because you can't interact live with the guests that were there. And I'm not good with plans getting messed up. I'm a planner to a fault. So it just felt like little tiny after one thing after another. And then first thing in the morning, I decided to take one of my medicines that is both an anti-anxiety medicine and it helps with muscle relaxation. And I thought, I'm going to do this and I'll have coffee, an upper and a downer together. I am not suggesting this. Kids, don't try this at home. But if you've ever been sick, you get it. Even if you take NyQuil, you're like, okay, we got to figure this out because it might knock me out. And anyway, everybody can relate. So my muscles were weak because it's a muscle relaxer. So they weren't doing what I wanted them to do. And I kept thinking through my workout, God, I'm not going to be able to do as many sets. I should cut back on how many reps and sets I do. But each time I thought about that, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to struggle through it. I'm going to get it done. I honestly, I didn't care what it did to me. I knew it's going to make me so sore. I'm going to pay for this. But I was like, then I guess I should learn not to take that medicine before I go to PT. But again, it was more of a struggle than I would have liked it to be. But all the techs and the physical therapists were dressed up for Halloween because tomorrow they're not open. So when I walked in, it was like, that just brought me joy. Just that silliness. And, I had to make a decision. I could have walked in like, oh, that's stupid, it doesn't make up for it. But I was like, this one guy had like Einstein hair and a lab coat, and all the physical therapists were dressed like athletes. One guy had a full-on baseball uniform on. And it's funny because they're all wearing their masks so you could hardly recognize them. And they were playing Halloween music. And I was like, okay, yeah, this is bringing me some joy. I can dig this. And I just kept pushing through. And I got done and my legs were like, and it was more of my back. My back had it. But I got through it. And then I was late and missed my vocal workshop. So that was a bummer. Then I had to drop off some paperwork to do with my disability and stuff. It's like you have to renew it every year. And it kind of snuck up on me. I was so tired. I was like, I probably shouldn't be driving. Because I get that tired and, you get the like mental fatigue. Where you're probably going to know that red means stop and green means go and only turn, if it's a green arrow, then you do, you know what I mean? You just go, but then you get paranoid and you're like, well, what if I make a mistake and then I hurt somebody? I wouldn't forgive myself. So luckily for me, um, I have the world's greatest best friend, and I just texted her and I said, hey, you can come with me to drop that off and go to the pharmacy. And she's like, of course. So, she just, like, I just basically rode with her and she did my errands. She's a lifesaver. I mean, she's what #blessed is all about. I think if you look in the encyclopedia under #blessed, you'll see a picture of Crystal Polaris. Or maybe me, because I'm the one that's so blessed, everyone who's friends with her. So it just was like, nothing really bad happened today. Nothing like really bad. It was just a struggle. Today just felt like a struggle. And partly because yesterday was awesome. Yesterday I was doing this and doing that, and I was active, and I was playing with Crystal's little cousins, and I was up. I didn't lay down at all yesterday. It was amazing. And today was just a struggle for the littler things, and it feels like a defeat because all of this feels like a war, and it felt like a defeat. So I thought, I can't make a video today. I don't want them to see me. I mean, look at my eyes. They're tired. I mean, I'm spent. I am already in my jammies. I was like, done. But I was like, no. This is about being real. This is about showing it all. This is about saying what people don't really ever say. It's not about being a Pollyanna. And sometimes I'll sound like one. And sometimes I'll be in a very dark place. And most of the time I'm going to bounce in between those two things. And that's kind of where I am right now. Had to argue with the pharmacy about a medicine I've been waiting for 3 weeks. That's really good med that's supposed to help me walk better. They didn't do their job. My doctor was confused. It was back and forth. Supposed to have it Monday. Yay! Then I had to put my laundry away that I didn't get to yesterday, and I could barely stand up and walk to put the clothes in the drawer. I mean, that's how bad. Like, it was bad today. It was like a different person from yesterday, but I still smiled. I told the young techs at PT that I was highly disappointed in them, that when the Time Warp song came on from Rocky Horror Picture Show, I saw no response. I'm over there doing my thing on the parallel bars, doing my balance, and I'm looking over at the techs, and I'm like, no one's even like, let's do the time warp, like, and I jump to the right. I don't know the words, but like, how can you not? And I was like, oh, because they're young. They're babies. They don't know this song. I was like, okay, I can forgive them. I kept doing my workout. Then Thriller came on. And I was like, all right, if we don't get like a flash dance mob, whatever those things were called, right now with like the Thriller dance, it's hard to fit in the screen. What the heck? No reaction. Nobody. I was doing my step at that time where I have to step up and step down and strengthen my legs. I was doing it to the beat. I'm like, excellent. I was finding joy. I'm like, we're going to do this to Michael Jackson. Then later, when I was doing my arm workouts and my tech was right near me, and this other lady who was about my age, early 40s, I felt like I could have her on my side. So I said to JJ, my tech, I was like, I noticed nobody had a reaction when Time Warp came on from Rocky Horror Picture Show. And the face he made was like, no compute. I was like, you're too young. You don't know what it is. He's like, I've never seen it. I was like, that was no excuse. And then I said, okay, I can forgive you for that. But what about Thriller? You gotta know Thriller. He's like, yeah, I know Thriller. I was like, well, how come you guys didn't like do a dance? I mean, can't you do the little bit? Most people know that. He's like, yeah, I kind of know that dance. I said, all right, Well, if it comes back on, I fully expect a dance ensemble. So, kind of laughing and joking with him, and then the lady was like, yeah, she's like, I raised my kids right. They know what this stuff is. It's good for you. And we just kind of had a moment. And you have to, like, I had to go for that. Like, I could have just been like, my legs feel dead. I want this to be over. I'm missing my vocal workshop. Blah, 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 blah. But it's a matter of training that talk out of yourself. And it's a little bit at a time, but training yourself to find the joy, find stuff that's funny, find stuff that's interesting, anything that redirects your brain from kind of the poor me attitude. Another thing that makes me happy, junior mints, because they are one of those awesome foods that are accidentally vegan, like Oreos. But Oreos have gluten, and I try to stay away from gluten when I'm being a good girl. But Junior Mints make me happy. And I purposely get overexcited about them. I'll do that with things. I'll purposely get overexcited because you gotta balance out, the crappy stuff. So you gotta find the joy. That's really what it's about. And sometimes you just gotta fake it till you make it almost. I spent most of my life showing horses. And the whole idea when you're showing a horse is if your horse is being naughty, you certainly don't want that on your face. You don't want to be like, because then the judge is like, oh, something's going on. They might not actually be able to tell. So you're just like, no, this is exactly what I'm asking him for. Like when I'd ride my horse and we'd come into the lineup, Bosco, for all the people who know, he was so stubborn. He wouldn't jog all the way into the lineup. He would break about 10 feet in ahead. And there was not a darn thing I could do to keep him jogging without it being like obvious. So, since I knew he was going to do it, as soon as he did it, I would vocally give him the command at the same time. So it looked like that's what I wanted. And it's kind of that attitude. You just keep swimming like Dory says. Because if you do that and you find the joy and it's there, you might have to hunt for it. You might have to make it up. I mean, you might have to. Like about imagining the text doing a flash mob or whatever. Like I just made that up in my head. Like, wouldn't that be cool? To get through it. And that's how you get through it without being defeated. Because you didn't let it win. You didn't let it own your mind. Whatever the sadness is, whatever the hardship is. Doesn't mean you totally ignore it and you're like, you don't know it exists. I mean, you can't do that. But also, wallowing is, I believe, something to avoid. Because once you get down there in the mire, it's awfully hard to get out. So, better to stay on top of it. It's all, it's easy to say, much harder to do, which most people would agree. I'm looking down at my cheat sheet, make sure I'm saying everything that I wanted to say. So I find joy in singing. Tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., have my second appointment with my therapist. Woo, we're going to talk about lots of stuff that's been going on in my life. And I need it. I definitely need it. I've had a hell of a year, and I will tell you guys in another video about this year. It's partially led to me creating this channel. Partially it's therapy for me as well. And then at 2 o'clock, I have my very first vocal masterclass. And because I missed the last one, it was at 4:30 and something came up, I couldn't go to it. I don't know what I was thinking. I told my voice teacher, I just want you to know I wasn't ditching it, and to prove it, in the master class on Saturday, I will sing a big Broadway number. what, what was I thinking? Now I'm stuck. Now I have to do it. I'm terrified to sing in front of people. I was told my whole childhood how terrible my voice was, and that won't get out of my head. But the thing about it is, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is being afraid and doing it anyway. And isn't that also living above your circumstances? Because after I'm done, no matter how it goes, I mean, if I'm bad, then hey, I was brave enough to be bad in front of people and I got through it. If I'm good, hey, I was good. So I can already decide that no matter what I do, there's a positive. And that you've got to set it up that way. You've got to like almost pre-think. If I just kind of made that up in my mind, if that makes any sense. But you kind of have to plan to not let yourself get knocked down, because otherwise, that stuff is coming and it will. And so I just decided I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to do it because it's part of living above my circumstances. And singing brings me joy. And so you've got to pursue those things. Absolutely do. And don't listen to the voices in your head that tell you all the reasons you shouldn't. Like all the voices that told me I shouldn't make this video. And the voices in my head right now that are saying, oh my God, Erin, you're talking too long. You're boring people. Nobody wants to hear this. This isn't helpful. Because it's not the, Steven Spielberg looking iMovie presentation I wanted to do. But it's real. I'm here. I'm exhausted. I'm in my jammies. And just being real with you. So thanks for watching. Hit the like button. Leave a comment, if you're so inclined. And I'd show you Lola, but she's passed out. She's like, Mom's been really busy lately, and Lola gets tired when I've been doing a lot. So yeah, she's passed out. That's the other thing. And Lola brings me so much joy. How could she not? She's adorable. She's obnoxious, but she's adorable. So, anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you tomorrow with some kind of video. Let's see what I can do with iMovie. Could be pretty interesting. Can't even turn this off. That's how technologically